Morning, folks. I'm out doing a few arrows this morning, but once I'm done with this, I want to talk to you about sighting in your rangefinder. And some of you are probably thinking, what do you mean sighting in a rangefinder? I'm going to explain it to you in just a second. So, a rangefinder is, you can see it transmits and receives down here. And what a lot of people assume is that rangefinder, that beam from the laser, goes exactly perfect. In other words, straight out, just like the crosshairs in your scope. Well, some of the less expensive brands who don't put a lot of effort into this, it'll actually angle slightly away, slightly low, slightly high. So when you're ranging, you think you're on the object, but it might be shooting right over that animal's back and hitting a rock 20 yards behind. Or it might be out there, you get far enough out there and it doesn't take much of an angle for it to miss your intended target, and it hits a tree off to the left of the animal. So there's a way you can figure out if your rangefinder is sighted in. So most rangefinders have a dot, a crosshair, something that gives you what your point of reference is to say, oh, that's what I'm hitting. And what you want to do to sight this in is you find an object that doesn't have a background. Like right over here, I've got a telephone pole, I'd guess 60 yards away. And if I aim towards the sky, that range is just going to go forever. I'm not going to get a feedback signal if I'm not hitting the pole. So what you do, you hold your button down on just about all of these, it'll continuously read, and you scan left to right. And if it gives you a reading and your crosshair is off to the left of the pole, you know that your laser, your beam, is not lined up with the crosshair. Or maybe I keep going, I'm past the pole, and now I'm over to the right of the pole, and all of a sudden I get a reading. Well, that tells me that my beam is off to that side. And then you can flip it 90 degrees and you can do the same thing, because this will tell you if it's shooting high or shooting low. So I'm just going to do it real quick. And there it is. It's quick. When I go back and forth, I'm getting a reading right on that telephone pole when my crosshairs hit there. As quick as I get to the left of it, no reading. As quick as I get to the right of it, no reading. So I had it on its side. So that tells me at least my windage part of it is dead on. Now I'm going to just hold it normally, and I'm going to do the same thing. So when I'm to the right of the pole, I don't get any reading. All of a sudden, my crosshairs are on the pole, I get a reading of 52 yards. I go to the left of the pole and I no longer get a reading. So I know that this rangefinder is sighted in perfectly. A lot of the better rangefinders are going to do that for you. But I would suggest you go and do this, because if your angle is slightly off or slightly high, slightly low, it doesn't take a lot, especially in archery, to get a wrong reading where it affects the trajectory of your arrow. Now, if you think about with a rifle, okay, if it's at 100 yards and it reads 110 because it's slightly off, not the end of the world. Okay. What if it's 330 yards and it's far enough to the left that it reads you 390? That's a pretty big difference in where your bullet's going to hit compared to where you think it's going to hit. You'd be surprised how many of the lower quality rangefinders are way off, where you think that's just a beam going perfectly to your crosshair, all of a sudden you find out it's this way or that way or that way or that way. So anyhow, easy to do. Just make sure that you have a backdrop with nothing behind it, and just go until you see where it gives you a reading, and then tilt it 90 degrees and do the same thing. Anyhow, sighting in rangefinders, very overlooked, but very important. Thanks for watching.